He's your dad and he's super rad. Sometimes he's good and sometimes he's bad. He's the imperfect dad.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know when you're listening to this or watching this, but I just want to give you a welcome, a really warm welcome. My name's Joel Frame. I am the imperfect dad. And by imperfect dad, I mean I fail every day, constantly at this dad thing, but I try to correct my mistakes. I shoot for success. And a lot of times I miss the mark, but I think it's the conscious correction and the active journey of trying to be perfect, knowing that I can never achieve that, but trying it is where I find the beauty in parenting. And if you have kids, if you don't have kids, if you someday want to have kids, I invite you to come on this journey with me, listen to the podcast, watch the video podcasts, and learn from my mistakes. And the things that I do right, I'll try to give some advice on. And the things that I do wrong, I'm going to be brutally honest about the struggles and things that frustrate me about myself, about society, things that I see around me. I'm going to be as honest as I can. And I will try not to offend anybody or hurt anybody's feelings or beat myself up too much. But inevitably, those things are going to happen. So let's just walk with grace and forgiveness and understanding. Let's try and open our minds. And I think we'll be a lot better for it. But like I said, my name's Joel Frame. I am the imperfect dad. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you to the subscribers who have already subscribed before I even put an episode out. That's crazy. I have so many people supporting and backing and encouraging this, and it's felt so good. It's been very humbling. So thank you. If you would have asked me not 32 years. I'm 32 now. So I would have been a baby at that time, and I wasn't really taking questions at that time in my life. If you would have asked me when I was in high school where I would be at 32, in between lighting my farts on fire and bag tagging my buddies. You remember bag tagging? What a terrible idea. Where guys just they tap each other pretty hard, below the belt, to cause some pain. And I don't know why we did that. It was such a terrible idea. One day, one of our friends got down and gave another one of our friends just a straight right jab below the belt. The ultimate bag tag. It wasn't really a bag tag. It was more of a bag killer. And we'll call it a bag killer. And it ended the bag tag game. And we've been on pins and needles for about 20 years now, wondering whether or not he was going to be able to have kids. He's got kids. So all is well. Anyways, but if you would have asked me back then where I'd be at 32, I probably would have said I'd be a professional skateboarder, or I'd be the drummer for a hardcore band touring the world, something crazy like that. But once I became an adult, whatever that means, and immaturity was just completely eradicated from my life, I realized that things were really different than how I could have ever predicted them to be. I'm a recovering alcoholic, drug addict. I thought for sure for years that would be what took me. And I didn't think I'd see 32. And so, number one, I'm just blessed to be here. I feel good. I'm happy. I'm a blessed man. And my days don't come without struggles. It's a constant choice every day to continue on this journey of recovery. and it's hard. But I have an incredible wife named Tracy who is the strongest support, ally, encouragement that I could have ever prayed for or asked for. And I have three beautiful daughters, a 5-month old named Georgia, a 3-year-old named Eddie, and a 6-year-old named Nellie. I'll get to them in just a couple minutes, but back to what I was saying. If I never thought that I'd be at this point, and backtracking to when Tracy and I, we first had our first kid, Nellie, a little over 6 years ago. I was a stay-at-home dad for the first 6 months of her life, and I wasn't ready for it. I thought that I was. I wasn't. Like a lot of dads in society, in Western culture, I was still under this assumption that, and this belief system, this kind of archaic way of thinking, that men need to be the main breadwinner so that the end goal could happen, which was the end goal being the wife being able to stay at home with the kids. Now, my situation set me up for that to be completely unattainable, impossible. I got a sociology degree, which basically just translates as a life of trying to scrape by, really capping out at $34,000 a year, which is, to a lot of people, that sounds okay. But when you start having kids and you own a home and cars and all these payments and just first world problem stuff, that doesn't really cut it. My wife has her PharmD. She is Dr. Tracy Frame, and she is a professor of pharmacy at a local university here in Nashville, where we live, greatest city on earth. And even though I'm wearing this Compton shirt, I understand that might be a bit confusing. But anyways, so it set us up for this really tumultuous time period where we were butting heads all the time because my pride was constantly being damaged and challenged. And, I just desperately wanted to get some type of job or do something. I'm a hip hop artist, so I wanted to strike it big as an artist to where she could quit and raise our kids. And like I said, that just wasn't possible. There's no way that I could have been or could be the main breadwinner, really, unless I hit the Powerball, and I don't play the Powerball. So I have a 0% chance of that unless somebody bought one for me and unbeknownst to me, won the Powerball and gave me, 511 million gazillion dollars. I don't know. Those things get so crazy, but we just don't do them. I can't say that. My wife will occasionally make me do a late night run and grab a ticket when she starts feeling lucky, feeling frisky. And so I have done that, but it's not a regular thing. And you don't need to pray for us or gambling or anything, addictions. That's luckily that's not an addiction we deal with. But anyways, it just wouldn't happen. If the bread that I bring home when I work, listen to me right now. I want to be really clear. The bread that I bring home is barely the corner of a generic unfrosted Pop-Tart, okay, from the dollar store. That's what I struggle to bring that home, okay? The bread that Tracy brings home is warm, fresh baked Italian bread, the kind with the hard crust that you gotta it just breaks your teeth almost, and it just whiplash. You feel me? That's the kind of bread that she brings home. Not rich, but I'm just saying, compared to mine, her bread's way better. It's way tastier. So I had to come to terms with that. I was a stay-at-home dad, like I said, for the first 6 months of Nellie's life, and I failed at it. I failed miserably at it. I got frustrated. I had no sense of purpose or anything, and I was fighting through these, these belief systems set up before me, and I take a lot of the blame. I can't take all of the blame though, because we live in a society that tells us that men can't be stay-at-home dads, and that our role is to really be, a provider. And if we are with our kids, that we're raising them to just be tough and rough and tumble. We're playing sports and throwing the football with them and attaboy slugger, that kind of stuff. And that's just not who I am. That's not the kind of guy that I am. I'm a sensitive dude. I'm an emotional dude. I'm a nurturing guy. I want to be nurtured. I want to nurture. And, my wife's the same way, but it's not like we're in some relationship where I hold that, that traditional role and she holds this traditional role. It just doesn't work for our family. And there are so many families out there like this, okay? That's why I wanted to start this podcast, is because I want to encourage, I want to inspire, I want to learn from, I want to hopefully teach people that it's good, it's all good for men to be stay-at-home dads, for men to be nurturing and sensitive and loving and emotional, and raising our kids up in that, standing alongside of our wives, or if you're a single parent, doing that on your own. Just quick side note, props to the single parents doing this alone. You're superheroes in my mind. You really are. I've got a lot of friends who are single parents, and I just I pray for them constantly, because how tough this is with two, I just can't imagine one. So everybody out there with friends who are single parents, pray for them, encourage them, be there for them, help them out, support them. Okay. Anyways, back to the thing. So, we don't fit those stereotypical roles, and I'm proud of that now. I'm proud to be a stay-at-home dad. I just started this week, actually. It came after a long time period of me working another job, and I just went into a deep depression. I lost 35 pounds in 5 months, and I don't have 35 pounds to lose, really. I've always struggled to keep on weight, and I've tried to bulk up and that kind of stuff. It just doesn't work for me. So I don't really have 35 pounds to lose, and I don't know where it went. I have this a zit in the middle of my forehead, if you can see, that just really conveniently popped up yesterday, right before I shot this. So I was really thankful for that. But I think the 35 pounds went to that zit in my forehead, because it looks like it's a 35 pounder. And hopefully it doesn't show up too well on the camera. If it does, let's not acknowledge it anymore. It's out there in the open. We'll push it to the side. But I went into a deep depression. I didn't realize that I was depressed, but it was affecting me, because we were running all over the city at rush hour trying to get to our girls, and the daycare that Eddie and Georgia were at, they were going through a lot of transitions, and they were losing teachers, and so there were new teachers in the classroom, in and out. And Eddie, our 3-year-old, was struggling. She was insecure, and that lack of security started to affect her physically, and so she started, how it manifested itself in her, is she started urinating frequently, and she was peeing every like 10 to 15 minutes. It was insane, and it was scary. We took her to the doctor like 3 times to test for a urinary tract infection, and it came up clear every time. And they just let us know, are there things changing in her life? Are there, and we said, yeah. And we feel like that was really what was causing that in her. Since we've made this change, this new, we made this decision for me to stay at home with them. It stopped. It's a beautiful thing. But then Georgia, she's 5 months, and the teachers there are phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but they've got 10 other babies or whatever that they're dealing with, 2 teachers. And so when we would pick Georgia up in the evening, her eyes were puffy from crying, her face had rash on it from tears. It was just bad all around. And there are a lot of parents out there right now going through this same thing. And some of you don't have the ability for one of you to stay at home, or like I said, there's a lot of single parents there. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just trying to tell you our personal story. And I want to be here for you all. I want to encourage you and lift you up. And so please feel free to email me, contact me with anything that you'd like me to be praying for, or helping with, or anything like that. But anyways, so fast forward to now. Enter podcast stage left. I've always dreamt of doing a podcast. And number one, I never thought that I really knew anything enough about something to where I could talk week after week with new material. And I was trying to think, do I know enough about hip hop to have like a hip hop podcast or something? And I don't. I know a lot about it. I love hip hop, but I don't know enough about it like these dudes to do a podcast on it. And so just through a lot of prayer and thinking about it and brainstorming, I realized, dog, you've been a dad for over 6 years now. And that may not seem like a long time, but for those parents out there, that's a long time. And I have accumulated enough stories and insanity to do a podcast for the rest of my life, and then have another life and do another podcast. And then probably another one after that, but I don't believe in reincarnation. So I'll probably just keep it at this one for this lifetime. But anyways, I've got so much going on with my kids that I was like, man, I got to get this out. I have to tell these stories. Some of them funny, some of them sad, some of them really cool, whatever. I just want to share them. I want to share my experiences with people that hopefully you can learn from what's going on in my life. And so that's why I started the podcast. And so anyways, yeah, if you're listening to this on iTunes, you won't be able to see this, obviously. They call me Captain Obvious in the streets. But anyways, if you are watching this is Nellie right here. And this was her first day of first grade. Beautiful, strong, smart, funny, sensitive, emotional, passionate. Man, she's fierce. She's a little warrior. And don't let her cute little smile and cute little white chucks that her aunt and uncle gave her fool you. She'll get you. She'll get you. Okay. This is my wife Tracy. I'll switch these out each episode, but she's just a stone cold fox. Tracy is. I don't know how else to say it. She is the only woman I desire. She's everything to me. She saved my life. And I don't, when I say she's the only woman I desire, I'm not trying to make this like a sex podcast or anything, but I am open enough to say that, man, she's all I want. That's it. And all of the things that I said about Nellie, she gets those all from Tracy. This is Georgia. Georgia's 5 months old. And when God was creating Georgia, he had all the babies in a row. And he was walking along the line of babies with a bag of cute sauce. And or is it more of a bottle, I guess. Um, and he was squirting this, little cute sauce all over the little babies. And they're all so cute. All babies are so cute, right? Oh gosh, I love babies so much. They're so cute. But anyways, he's squirting the cute sauce on the little babies, and I guess when he got to Georgia, uh, Gabriel snuck up behind him something, scared him. Right when he did, squirted a little extra on Georgia, and by a little extra, I mean the top fell off the bottle and completely covered Georgia in just cute sauce. Unbelievable. Okay, love her. My wife came home had just a little bit ago, had a pretty long day, a rough day, and I handed her Georgia, and everything was good. Um, and sorry, I got to check. Had to check, make sure this is still recording. The three of them together, right there, so cute. That's parents out there. You know how rare that is to get all three kids together smiling like that. It was just like one in a million. And then here's Eddie. Her name's Edelyn, but we call her Eddie. So if you hear me say George and Ed, I'm not talking about 78-year-old men. I'm talking about my very cute daughters. This is Ed. Ed is me. Way cuter, but Ed is me. She is the most sensitive, compassionate, funniest, sweetest little kid I've ever met. That being said, she is exactly like me. And if any of you out there have a kid that's like exactly like you, which most of you, they're probably like one or the other of you, that's tough because I see things in her that I don't like about myself, and it makes it tough a lot of times when trying to teach her and correct her, because I see these things in her that I don't like about myself. And so really I find that when I lose my cool or I get really frustrated, it's really kind of this indirect frustration with my own shortcomings and failures. And so I'm really learning. I'm really trying hard to learn how to navigate being a dad to Eddie. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't. But it's tough. And the last couple of days, I've failed at it. I have. I've lost my cool. And yesterday, I spanked her, and I don't want to do that. I not nothing against parents who do spank their kids, but I just with ours are so sensitive, and they just really want so desperately to make mommy and daddy proud, and there's something about spanking for me that just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right when I tell Eddie not to hit, and then I hit her butt. I smack her butt. I just don't like the feeling of it, and I think there was maybe a time and place for it. I don't know. Was a time and place for it. I don't know. Um, but I just it just doesn't sit right with me. I think there's too many things in this world trying to speak into our kids' lives that I don't want speaking into my kids' lives, that I'm combating against, and I think the spanking sends mixed signals, and it adds this kind of extra baggage that I don't want them having to deal with. I don't want to have to explain to them, why daddy's smacking your butt, because you've done something wrong. It just doesn't seem right. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with her. She just doesn't listen well. She doesn't, and she doesn't mean any harm by it. She just doesn't listen well, and it's super frustrating. It oh gosh, I don't even. I'm at how I'm struggling to communicate it because this is where I'm at in my head right now, and in my heart, I don't know what to do. If you have any advice in this situation, please email me, um, tweet me, something like that. I'll give you all the handles at the end of the episode, but I'm going to put them at the beginning as well. So, but help me out, please. Give me some advice. Today I tried to have 5 M&Ms up on the counter. She loves candy. I had 5 M&Ms up on the counter, and I started the day saying, "You can have these 5 M&Ms at lunch, but each if you make a bad choice." As I'm saying it now, I'm thinking this was a bad idea because I'm just setting her up to have bad choices. But I said, if you make a bad choice, then I'll take an M&M away. Needless to say, I had 4 M&Ms this morning and 3 this afternoon because I gave her 5 more after lunch that then would last until, that would stay there until dinner. So I had a lot of M&Ms today because she made a lot of bad choices, and I made a lot of bad choices with how I tried to discipline her and correct her. And so, if you could just pray for me on that, if you're a believer, if you're not a believer, if you could just be thinking about me and that sounds so selfish. Don't like waste time thinking about me, but just if it crosses your mind, just be like, I hope he's doing all right. Anyways, but yeah, we're on this journey. Those are my girls. They're incredible. I'm trying to teach them that or Trace and I are trying to teach them that they are strong and that they don't have to fit into this stereotypical girl mold that society is also set up. I'm not saying that I'm going to start giving them hormones or anything like that, but I want them to be proud to be girls. I want them to be proud that they can be strong and they can be warriors, but they can also be princesses. And Eddie is very much like that. She just wants to be a princess. Daddy, do I look like Belle? Belle is her favorite. Do I look like Belle? Daddy, I look like Belle, don't I? All day. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you're even prettier than Belle. I'm doing that. And with Nellie, when she gets home, man, she takes her shirt off because boys get to take their shirts off, so she wants to take her shirt off, and she runs around with these little Batman glasses, and she plays superheroes all day, and I love it. I love it. I love both of those things. It's incredible. George doesn't really even know who she is or where she is at the moment, so who knows what she'll be like. Probably a mix of both, maybe, or maybe totally different. Anyways, but I each of the episodes of the Imperfect Dad, I'm going to be talking about different subjects, and I want to finish this one off with just a quick discussion. I don't know if it's a discussion because it's just me talking, but a quick monologue of on sports. We're fresh into the football season. I don't know how many weeks it's been going on. I stopped watching football maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I was a huge Baltimore Ravens fan, and I just realized. Let me preface this with: I'm not judging anyone who are fans of sports or whatever. I love the UFC. I like to watch the fights, things like that. I'm not saying anything like that, but let me challenge you and myself for a second. We have gotten to a place where we put so much weight and importance on sports, okay, professional sports. It's insane. I did it for so long. And we waste so much time on Sunday afternoons or Saturday afternoons, evenings, all day Saturdays and Sundays, watching these grown men run around in tight pants, trying to hit another guy with a piece of leather that has air in it. And that guy's trying to carry that piece of leather filled with air across a painted line in a grassy field. Why? I, it's cool. These guys and these girls, they're unbelievable athletes. I mean, they're just physical specimens, okay? I get that it's really cool. But it can be really cool and we can be fans and appreciate it without neglecting our families and our children. What better time than Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon to take your kids out hiking or fishing or dancing with them or whatever it is? What better time? There isn't a better time to do it than on the weekend. Go out, take your kids out, teach them things, teach them about life. I'm not saying don't watch sports, but maybe DVR it. Watch it when the kids go down. If your kids are fans, then okay, I don't know. I mean, I don't know too many little kids, 6-year-olds, 3-year-olds, that are real fans that are going to sit through a 4-hour football game and just love every second of it. And if you really got to see it, have it on, but be interacting with your kids, doing stuff. Their first priority, okay? Catch it when you can. We're at a crazy place in society. It's like how we prioritize things. And like I said, again, I'm bad at this. I don't do it with sports, but I do it with other things, with music or podcasts. I watch podcasts a lot. I love the Joe Rogan Experience. I love Tiger Belly. I love Congratulations with Chris D'Elia. I love This Past Weekend with Theo Vaughn. I love The Fighter and the Kid. I love podcasts, but I try, and I've been doing a pretty good job at it. I watch those things. I listen to those things late at night once everybody's in bed. I chill for a while. I just have some quiet time and alone time. And I wouldn't really call it quiet time, but alone time. And I listen to the podcast, and I love it. I unwind, and everybody's asleep, and nobody's needing anything, and I can just comfortably watch. And it probably be the better way to watch the football game or basketball game or baseball game, anyways. Watch it, later at night, DVR it, early in the morning. So, I don't know, something like that. When the kids are taking a nap, watch it. And plus, DVR, you fast forward through the commercials. It's way better. Commercials are awful these days. We're not going to get into commercials in this episode, but anyways, I hope I'm not sounding self-righteous. I don't want to sound self-righteous. Because like I said, I fail at it too. But let's challenge ourselves. Can we do that? Can we challenge ourselves to prioritize in such a way that our families come first? I don't think that's too much to ask. I don't think I sound like a jerk asking that. Hopefully I don't. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Email me, tweet me. If you disagree, I want to know. Let's have a discussion about it. If you agree, let me know. That'll make me feel good. Make me feel like my opinions and my ideas are maybe worth a little something. But yeah. Oh, I got one more thing I want to say. Wonder Woman. Are you kidding me right now? Wonder Woman. Dopest movie I've seen in forever, maybe. So good. I cried like 3 times in it. Laugh if you want. Call me a wuss. I don't care. So unbelievably good. Just cinematography alone, storyline alone. I wasn't a comic book guy growing up. I was more of a, bike riding, little football player, wiffle ball playing, fighting kids in the neighborhood, that kind of kid growing up. I didn't really do comic books. Not that kids like that can't do comic books, but I just didn't. My parents didn't really like push comic books on us, so I didn't get into them. But so I don't know the story of Wonder Woman. I don't know if the movie's like in line with the comic books, and I know people get up in arms about that stuff, which I think is crazy. But I have no idea. All I know is it was an incredible story. Ares, the god of war, is controlling the Nazis and is making them do terrible things, Nazi-ish things. Quick little fact. The reason why they're called Nazis, and this isn't in the movie, it's just popped in my head and I want to share this because I don't think a lot of people know this. Nazi, that was sounding weird. Nazi comes from National Socialist Party. So sorry to the Germans out there for my broken German, but National, and then shorten it, Nazi, right? Anyways, Ares, the god of war, is the reason why they're doing the terrible things that they're doing. And Wonder Woman is this like Amazon woman that grew up on this island, this paradise island that Zeus created. And I don't believe in Zeus. I don't believe in Ares. Okay, quick. I'm a Christian. Okay, I don't believe in those things, but it's just a cool storyline. And she is a total bad butt. Okay, just unbelievable. And it's not corny. It's not cheesy. The woman who plays Diana, Wonder Woman, I believe in real life was in the Israeli Special Forces. And I heard somebody say that apparently, maybe, I'm so sorry if this is not right, but that all women in Israel have to serve a certain period of time in the military. If that is true, who cares? They did it. They do it. I don't care if you have to or not. She still was in the special forces. Just a straight G, dude. Murking fools. You understand me? And they didn't ever present her as a sex object, which I think is really dope. There was never a point in the movie where I was like, man. Well, I mean, she's beautiful. But they never, it's just looking at her, you just notice that objectively she's just beautiful. But they never try and portray her as this like sex symbol. She's just a killer, dude. And then Captain America's in it, and that guy is just a total dime piece too. Just awesome. They were unbelievable. Their chemistry so good, super funny, and something that I'm proud to show my girls. And when they're in the island, it's only women, and they're like training, they're fighting each other and doing all this cool stuff, and it's really cool to see, and I'm really proud to show my girls that. So whoever made that, I don't know, make more. And one more quick note on that. My daughters need a female superhero. Wonder Woman is dope, okay? They've got Wonder Woman. One's not enough, okay? I know there might not have. Don't try and push Catwoman, Supergirl. Come on, like they were like minor characters, I think. And get out of here. Create a new one. Create a new powerful super. Create 10 of them, 20 of them. Do something new. I think it's pretty well known that we as society, like there are a lot of people like me. Let's get some more females up in here. Let's get some more female superheroes, dude. Kicking butt, taking names. Let's do it. I want my girls watching it. I want them to see it. You get, what's it cost at the movie theaters now? Like $120? You got $120 from the Frame family. I promise. We'll go see it. So Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino, no, maybe Quentin Tarantino. I don't know if I'd want them watching a Tarantino film. Whoever. Guys, make a female superhero. Another one. A bunch more. Do it. There's a market. There's a lot of girls in the country. I think like half of the country maybe are girls. So let's do it, okay? Let's do it. I'm going to sign off this podcast. This has been so fun. It's everything that I dreamt it would be. Just talking a bunch and some of you listening. And I hope that I hope I made sense. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I don't know. I'm kind of a rambler. Um, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I'm going to drop another podcast next week, Friday. Okay? And we're going to talk more about awesome stuff. And I'm going to have some more funny stories, some failures and successes, hopefully. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, for listening. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Like I said, get at me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and email me. So Twitter, Instagram, and I think Facebook, it's at Dad Imperfect, just spelled DADIMPERFECT. Okay, at Dad Imperfect. Get at me, follow me. Let's start having some conversations. If you want to email me, it's the Imperfect Dad Podcast at gmail.com. The Imperfect Dad Podcast at gmail.com. Let's do this thing. Let's take this thing. Share it. If you liked this, share it, like it, subscribe. Make sure you tell your friends about it. Don't have to be parents. You can be. Probably most of you will be. Don't have to be parents, whatever. Anyways, I'm rambling at this point. I love you guys so much. I will see you next week.
He's a dad and he's super rad. Sometimes he's good and sometimes he's bad. He's the imperfect dad.